Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and in this video, we're going to be talking about 5 signs that you're not ready to date or to be in a relationship. No, you don't need to be a fully healed or perfect specimen in order to date, so let's start by debunking that. However, there are some signs that you might not be quite ready to date or to be in a relationship for a variety of different reasons. So here are 5 of them. So some signs that you might not be ready for a relationship or to date in general might include, number 1, you are bitter or angry. Sadly, I see this a lot online from both men and women. And yes, I'm looking at you, all men are trash or all women are the worst type of people out there. I see you in my comments, I see you on other channels, I see you a lot. Now let me ask you this question. Why on earth would I want to date a man who thought that women were the worst? I wouldn't. I would never. Because that is a sign to me that you are not ready for dating or a healthy relationship. Emphasis on healthy. The same way that none of you guys would want to date a woman who goes online or goes around saying all men are trash or I hate all men or generalizes men to any degree. No, thank you. Someone who is bitter and angry is not ready to date because their negative attitudes and emotions can impact their ability to form healthy and fulfilling relationships. Bitterness and anger towards men or women can stem from a variety of different reasons. Maybe it's a past experience you had with someone that you dated or personal issues from your upbringing. This can lead to a lack of trust, a lack of communication, and emotional intimacy when you are dating or in an actual relationship. In order to be ready to date, it's important for you to work through your negative feelings and develop a healthy, respectful attitude towards the opposite sex or a potential partner. This might involve things like therapy, self-reflection, personal growth, but ultimately here, it's essential to approach dating and relationships with an open mindset, a positive attitude, in order to form a healthy and fulfilling relationship. And maybe you need a little bit of outside help in order to work on these parts of yourself, and that's okay too. Before we get into the next point, big thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service, and it's 100% online. With BetterHelp, you can tap into a network of over 25,000 licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a wide range of issues. To get started, you just answer a few questions about your needs and preferences in therapy. That way, BetterHelp can match you with the right therapist from their network. Then you can talk to your therapist however you feel most comfortable, whether it's via text, chat, phone, or video call. You can message your therapist at any time and schedule live sessions when it's convenient for you. If your therapist isn't the right fit for any reason, you can switch to a new therapist at no additional charge. With BetterHelp, you get the same professionalism and quality you expect from an in-office therapy, but with a therapist who is custom picked for you, more scheduling flexibility, and at a more affordable price. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/CourtneyRyan. That's betterhelp.com/CourtneyRyan. And I've also linked them below in the description. My next sign that you are not ready to date is that you're not fully over someone else, for obvious reasons here. If you are still healing from a breakup or nowadays getting over a situationship that never even turned into a relationship, you probably aren't ready to jump into something new quite yet. Unless you want them to be a rebound. Ouch. One of the biggest mistakes that I see people make is jumping from one person to the next. It's okay to take some time to yourself and let yourself heal from the situation that you were just in. Evaluate it and really be thoughtful about what went well and what didn't. Take accountability for the role that you played, both positive and negative, and learn from that. This is how we grow and ultimately how we can be an even better partner in the future for the next person that we date. And I've often found that people who don't take this time to really, take a look at what went wrong, evaluate and reflect, they end up dating another person and it's like the same relationship with a new face in front of them and the same issues and patterns just continue to repeat. So I think it's really important to take this time to be single, to again, evaluate where you could grow, where you could improve, what went wrong, what went well in the last relationship so that you can carry that into the next one and know and learn from your past experiences. My next sign is that you're emotionally unavailable or immature. I actually just made a video about signs that someone is emotionally unavailable, so check that out too if you want to see the dedicated video about being emotionally unavailable. But long story short here, someone who is emotionally unavailable is not ready for a relationship or dating because they're not capable of forming deep emotional connections with others. Emotional unavailability can show itself in many different ways, like being emotionally distant, avoiding intimacy altogether, or just being unable to express their feelings. These behaviors can make it difficult, if not nearly impossible, to form a healthy and fulfilling relationship with someone else. And the matter of the fact is that emotional availability is crucial for building trust, intimacy, and a strong connection with your significant other. When one person in the relationship is emotionally unavailable, it's going to create an imbalance that can then lead to feelings of frustration, loneliness, dissatisfaction, resentment, a lot of not so great things. So ultimately, here to wrap this one up, if someone's not emotionally available, they're not ready for dating or a relationship and might need to spend a little bit of time working on themselves before pursuing a romantic connection. And that's okay. We all have work to do. It's okay. And you can continue this as you date or enter a romantic relationship. My next sign is that you don't want to put in the work or the effort. And the reality here is that dating requires work and effort on your end. No matter what the relationship is, no matter who it's with, it's going to require work, effort, and energy on your part. If you're not at a place where you're willing to put in effort planning dates, spending adequate time with someone to get to know them, paying for the date, of course, this can vary, obviously. I'm not trying to, paint a black and white picture here. This is going to be different depending on the relationship, but just generally speaking, contributing to the conversation in a meaningful way. I mean, I could go on and on. The list continues here. If you aren't willing to do those things, then you probably aren't in a place where you're ready to date. And that's because a successful and healthy relationship requires effort and work from both people involved. If one person is not willing to put in the effort, it can then create an imbalance and cause a lot of issues. A relationship that is one-sided is not successful or healthy and often leads to resentment down the line. And I do think it's really important to be honest with yourself about your willingness and ability to commit to the effort required for dating and for a healthy, fulfilling relationship to work out long term. I see a lot of people in my comments say things like, I don't want to spend time dating. I don't want to make time for it. I don't want to go on a bunch of dates. I don't want to pay for the dates. I don't want to put effort into my appearance or show up as the best version of myself in order to make a good first impression. There are a lot of people who are unwilling to put in the work and do these things. And in that case, you're not ready to take that next step, because I think it really does start with you, and you should want to put in effort. You should want to put your best foot forward. I think anything in life worth having requires some level of effort and work on your end, and if you're not in a place or mindset where you feel that way too, then that tells me you have some work to do. And I don't say that to hurt your feelings. I say that as a kind of hard truth reality check. And my last sign is that you're not willing to compromise. Every single relationship requires a level of compromise, flexibility, and settling. I know people hear the word settling and freak out a little bit, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. And you might be thinking, why? Well, because nobody is perfect. There is no perfect person out there for you. And in terms of simply dating, maybe you have unrealistic expectations for the person you want to be with about things that don't really matter. Maybe you're being overly picky and have a list of icks. The way someone scoots into a booth or takes a photo, things that don't matter, my friends. Maybe you function as a my way or the highway type of person and think that the world revolves around you. And in all of these cases that I just mentioned, I'd say you've got some work to do, because you have to be willing to compromise on some things in order to cultivate a healthy relationship. And I know our society has painted a picture of never settle or don't make any compromises because with the right person you won't have to. And I'm sorry, but that's just a bunch of baloney. This is not a Disney movie. This is not a rom-com on the Hallmark Channel. This is real life. And there are, of course, some things that you should never settle for, but I can promise you that the amount of money someone makes, how tall they are, or how big their butt is not on the list. Sorry, my friend. And I actually did a video recently about things that you should never settle for in a relationship, so I'll link that down below if you're confused about what you should accept, what you shouldn't accept. Of course, this is going to come down to you on an individual level and really thinking about your values, your morals, your life goals, and things like that. I always recommend making sure that you're aligned with those things on the person that you're going to be with. But again, the video that I made could be helpful if you don't know where to start. But again here, compromise is an essential component of any healthy relationship. It involves both parties being willing to give and take and find mutually agreeable solutions to conflicts or differences, all things that are very important if you want a relationship to flourish and grow long term. So guys, that is all I have for signs that you're not ready to date or to be in a relationship. I hope that you found this video helpful. Let me know down below if you resonated with any of these points. Maybe the person that you're dating or people you're talking to kind of fall into the categories that I talked about here today. Again, something to keep in mind is that none of us are perfect. We are all a work in progress. And when you actually do start dating or getting into a relationship, I think it's important to still actively work on these aspects of yourself to make sure that you are being the best you can be for the person that you're with, and also for yourself. These are all things that are going to make you a better you, but also a better romantic partner for that special someone that you choose to grow with. So if you liked this video or found it helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to be in the loop for when I release new content. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me over on Instagram at Courtney Christine Ryan. I love connecting with all of you guys over on there as well. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.